I'm just going to do a talk this time. I put the dates up of the moon cycles between the equinox and the solstice, which is not far away now, 2 moon cycles away, and in between we've got the eclipses. If you didn't know, they started last year in Gemini and Sagittarius. I hope you did know if you pay attention to your astrology, because if you are going to be affected by them, it's worth knowing about. I got affected by them quite bad when they were in Leo and Aquarius a few years ago. So my time's past now, but now if you're got Gemini and Sagittarius going on in your chart, be aware. And the Scorpio new moon, full moon, sorry, is this month, so that is also going to be a heaty one, possibly. As for the motions of the planets, there's the dates for some of the changes of signs, the Mercury retrograde and the Venus-Mars conjunction in July. So when I had a look at this, I realised that over the next couple of months, there's a lot of really good dignity. The planets, nearly all of the planets, find themselves in their domicile at some point. So to skip all the astrology technicals, it just looks like around 15th April, and then moving on into, like, by the time we get into July, between mid-April to July, I think there'll be a lot of chat about the economy, and there'll be a lot of positive feeling about spending money and making money. And at first it will come across as this excitement that the economy is starting to boom, and then it will come across as like loads of ideas about how to spend and how to stimulate the economy, and we individually will probably also start participating in like commerce more on an individual level. And meanwhile, you have to differentiate these different elements. There'll be this kind of, at first, there'll be this really positive attitude towards the economy, and then there will be this really quickening, like hungry participation, and like our minds will probably be in commerce, you know, like our attention will be there. And then at the same time, there'll be this like, it might all seem like one thing because it all is happening at the same time, but there'll be this just general better mood and like much more positive spiritual kind of good fortune, you know, there'll be good luck, good fortune, really kind of benign, the world, and like luck and serendipity and stuff will be increased. And it might seem that that's because someone in the outer world is doing something economically, or because we're able to drive around and do things that we want to do, and we've got loads of plans and loads of energy to rush around between different things. But how much we're enjoying that is different to the actual things themselves, because you probably quite often find yourself spending money and doing stuff, and it usually comes across as a bit of a pain in the butt. But because of this Jupiter moving into Pisces, there's going to be this real sudden expansion and like upthrust of like good luck and positivity and indulgence. And I feel like the powers will kind of try and use that against us, saying that it's something to do with them being stimulating the economy and stimulating, like, you know, and changing the rules and quickening commerce and stuff. But you'll see that when those things pass and we're no longer feeling like we want to be participating and rushing around, we'll still be feeling good. So it's good to know that it's a Jupiter thing, not just a Venus Mercury thing. So I really wanted to just like put that out as my prediction, basically, that you might start making money and stuff, but don't just attribute it to some commercial mercurial force. It's going to be quite a lot to do with Jupiter. And it's worth bringing this up because for me, for example, and for most people around my age, we're entering into a Jupiter return. And that's a big thing because we're Jupiter in Pisces, a very dignified Jupiter. We're at a part of our life, our second Jupiter return. So our second Jupiter return. We just had our first Saturn return, which is supposed to be a tough time, and we're having our second Jupiter return in Pisces, which is a good thing and a very spiritual thing, and a very much an increase in fortune and a development of the spirit and benign magic and broadened horizons and things. That's the same for everyone, but in terms of like people born in that sign as well, it's part of their kind of personal fate much more. It's like a very fated thing. Whereas for other people, they might just have access to it because it's a kind of a thing going on in the world. So it's good for everyone. So you also just maintaining like Saturn in Aquarius, that's going to be there for ages as well. That's another planet in really good dignity, which is it doesn't need any more saying about it because we talk about it. I talk about it all the time. Mercury retrograde on the 30th of May. The stuff I was just saying about feeling like really like participating and clear-minded and everything's going easy. Towards the end of May, you'll maybe be like, hang on, like I feel a bit discombobulated and stuff. You might accidentally spend too much money on something or get like a bill that you didn't know, but it won't all be bad. It's just normal Mercury retrograde stuff. The Mercury retrograde always catches you with a couple of things. They're never awful, but just to be aware of them, that because things would have been so clear and like benign for such a long time, that when it starts to slip backwards, it'll catch you off guard, right? So just take that into account. There's this extended hermaphrodite period as well, because the hermaphrodite, Hermes Aphrodite, the hermaphrodite, is the conjunction of, it's the hermetic Aphrodite, so the secret love goddess, not the very kind of obvious Aphrodite, but a very much more weird one, like a weird lover kind of archetype. It's going to be going on for ages. So as soon as Venus and Mercury are both in Taurus, because Venus rules Taurus, and then they both move into Gemini, and Mercury rules Gemini, and they're both conjoined by sign. There's this extended period of that hermaphrodite phase, which I like to talk about a lot. It happens on the other side of the year as well in Virgo and Libra, and they're not like dark, brooding periods. They can be quite like a good laugh, if you can get your head into it. You might kind of tend to tip to one side or the other. You might find that like just innately you side with Mercury in those times, for instance, and forget to have fun because you're too busy going running and working on your business and things, and you miss the opportunity to kind of capitalise on this really prominent archetype, of the hermaphrodite that comes up in alchemy. And then you get to the end of July when we're waning out of this like really fast, really hermaphrodite period where everyone's focused on the economy, and we go to a Venus-Mars conjunction in Leo, where that's just couldn't be more of a different energy. It's a Venus Mars conjunction. Like, I'll be honest, I usually break my celibacy around those times, and especially with one in Leo, where it's all about being centre stage, feeling great, looking great, um, grabbing attention for yourself. Anyway, for it then to be about a conjunction of like the love, like feminine physical love, and the Mars male physical passion and power, mate, we need to be careful around that time. 12th of July, like through the month of July. Be careful. So yeah, having said that, um, Geminis and Sagittariuses, keep an eye out. Very Venusy or Mars people, keep your eye out. And read about Jupiter and Pisces and just try and engage with Jupiter. It's a really lucky time. It's once every 10 years, or no, once every 12 years or something. Whatever it is, like, it doesn't happen very often. So, and it's really, really fortunate period if you are able to take advantage of it. I mean, you can't guarantee good fortune, can you, ever? But you can recognise trends, and there's a trend towards good luck and good fortune that lasts for a year or so, or over a year, that we can all get involved with. And thank God for that.